Obviously a sad week for the club with the passing of Jack Dyer, arguably the most famous player to wear a Richmond Guernsey. Let's take a look at this tribute to the great man.
He's the Richmond Football Club. He's set a really strong foundation for this club, and you know, he's been an icon of our club. He's been an icon of the AFL on and off the field.
My second job was football, and the third job was football. So it carried me right through, as a matter of fact. And I had a wife that loved football too, and so we never had any worries at all.
Yeah, I suppose he was as big of an individual who could cast a shadow over one particular club. There's been sort of Ted Whitten at Footscray and Dick Reynolds at Essendon, and I'm sure there's others as well. But in terms of being as big as it is, I think Jack Dyer is it. Certainly for us, he embodied a lot of what Richmond wants to be and what it tries to be, even 50 or 60 years after he finished playing. So in order for that to happen, he must have had a pretty big influence back then. You could see that he was larger than life. Even when I did meet him, he was in his 80s, so he was a bit older and a bit more frail than what he would have been when he was in his prime, obviously. But just had that incredible charisma that drew people to him, and from what I hear, that's what he was like no matter where he was, whether he was at a football club or at a pub or whatever. There was always people around him, and he wasn't necessarily talking or being the loudest, but people were just drawn to him because of who he was and what he was, and just the great charisma and leadership that he had.
Some more news from the club this week was the announcement of Leon Cameron's retirement. He's going to play his last and 257th game this week against the Hawks at the MCG. Let's take a look and see what he had to say at the press conference as a curtain comes down on a great career.
It's been a long 15 years, one that I look back and with, great satisfaction, knowing that the 11 years at the Bulldogs was fantastic, and the 4 years at Richmond was equal to that as well. Yeah, I have. Obviously, you look back and you think you obviously have some regrets. Probably the only one is obviously the premiership, that a lot of players do bow out and don't have that satisfaction of winning an AFL premiership when you try for so long to get that. But playing-wise, I have no regrets. You have a lot of ups and downs, and you just get over them. And I think it's part of league footy. And I really do thank Richmond for giving me another lifeline after, probably struggling up and down in one spot for the last year or two at the Bulldogs. And I think it got another 4 years out of my career. And yeah, it was just good to know that I could play the game again for this long. So that's basically about it. You start to think about your future and what you're doing and contributing to the team each week. And I started to probably, my blistering pace that's always been there has probably dropped away a little bit. But yeah, and you look at it and think, well, my mind's ticking over. Footy-wise, I can think about the game a lot, but my body just probably couldn't do the things that you wanted to do. The pace of the game has probably gone up another level again, the last couple of years. So, and that's probably been the main factor. But yeah, you look at it and you think your time has come, there's no easy way of making a decision of what you want to finish up something that you've played for 15 years. But that's just the way it is, and yeah, I'm looking forward to stage 2. I think it was just a combination of the last few weeks. And that's got nothing to do with how we're going and all that sort of stuff. It's just that there's a time where you just can't do what you want to do, and you've got to make a realistic decision and say, well, okay, it's time for me. The best time is to bow out now. I don't want to go on and make a fool of myself next year and end up running around playing in a lower level, and that's the decision I've made. I'd love to play, you know, your best footy at the MCG. I just hope that the clouds open up and there's a bit of rain for Sunday's match, but we'll see how we go. But yeah, look, it is fantastic, and I'm thoroughly looking forward to it for the rest of the week. Training tomorrow and Friday. We've spoke to the boys about an hour or two ago, and that was a hard thing to do, sitting in front of your teammates and saying that your time's up. But it was good, and you know, I'm really looking forward to this week's match. And you know, obviously Hawthorn's playing very well, but you know, it'd be great to go out on a good note. I have a look at Spud's hair now, and it's gone from a black colour to grey in 4 years. So I don't know. You got to weigh things up. I'm not too sure.
You put most of them, eh?
Yeah, but look, I will look forward to staying in the game in some capacity. I don't know what it'll be, whether it be a league club or a lower level. I'm not too sure, but I think footy's in my blood, and it's going to stay there. And as I said, stage 2, I don't know what holds for me, but I'm sure it will have something to do with football.